Do you have an area that looks like this in your garden? I'm sure many of us do. Well, if you're looking for some great ideas, then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Tanya, Visser, editor of The Gardener magazine, and welcome to a new episode of The Gardener. Right, folks, we've put in 3 awesome Durant Poodles, as they call them. It's a double lollipop. Now, lollipop, like a sucker, has 1 head of foliage. However, this one has got 2. This is Durant Sheena's Gold, probably one of the most popular plants available today in any garden centre. They have this wonderful golden foliage, and they also get a little blue flower. If, however, you are going to have them trimmed in the topiary, as they call them, just like this with the double barrel, that you're generally not going to get flowers. But certainly without flowers, this foliage is amazingly striking. It is beautiful. It'll stay golden all year round, and I'll show you a little later how to clip it and how to maintain it. But basically, you're going to have these awesome 3 poodles that are going to hold and draw your eye into the center of this water feature. Remember, when we were planting them, of course, always use compost and a bit of bone meal into the bottom of the planting hole to make sure that you're giving these guys all the good nutrients that they need. There we go. Looking beautiful. As filler plants for around these beautiful Durantas, I've got some Madeira daisies. Now, you know, folks, there's nothing quite as generous as a daisy, and it's going to cost you about 35 Rand to 40 Rand. And really, for this amount of money, you're going to get endless colour for the next 3 years in your garden. 3 years is a long time. If I'd ask you to smile for 3 years, you're not going to hang in there. So imagine what giving this little plant does. And remember, when it starts looking a bit scraggly, all you're going to do is just prune it back. You can take cuttings of it while you're doing that as well. And you know that you have just got endless amounts of colour. They come in beautiful different ranges and hues, from a white to lovely yellows, doubles even a maroon. Remember, with all planting, we've got some bone meal in the bottom of the hole and a bit of compost mixed into the soil already, and away we go. So remember, though, the daisies are needing lots of sun, a full sun position, in order to do exactly what you want them to do. If you're going to have an area that gets only about 3 hours sun, then just don't even bother, because they enjoy sunlight. They need the sunlight in order to flower. And remember, another good tip is that in order to encourage more flowering, that when you have a bud like this, do you see this little guy is going over? He certainly doesn't look like this guy, then all that you need, take your thumb and your forefinger, just like that, and just break it off. There we go. And all that you want to do is continue to remove those off the bush. The more you do that, the more flowers that you can encourage, and your daisy will just carry on and on and on. So I've got a whole lot more of these to plant up. Right, the daisies are going in, and that's going to be just a blaze of colour. Literally a carpet of pink, then with the golden Durant emerging out of it. But then I need something around my pond just to soften it, and also it helps hiding the edges. If you wanted to use something else, you could always put a bit of slate over here or put some pebbles. But I want to work literally with some beautiful plants that we've got. This guy is called a liriope. Liriope evergreen giant. Now, probably one of the most versatile plants that are available. It can grow in the shade or in the full sun. It gets a lovely little flower that emerges right out of the grass that almost looks like little white snowdrops. They really are incredibly good plants, and especially if you're putting them near water features. So I'm happy with my planting depth there. Yep, that looks good. Put a bit of bone meal in, and in this little guy goes. And what's going to happen is this guy is just going to fill out and really work to also soften a bit of the water feature, soften the planting around it, and they don't get any taller than that, but nice and wide, and will do the job. So if you've got an area, sun or shade, that you're battling to grow things in, and you're thinking of a good tough plant, then liriope evergreen giant is the one for you. I've got a group of some alternatives that you could use if you didn't want to use the daisies and the liriopes. Remembering still keeping your structure, which is with your Durantacenas gold. This little guy here is fabulous. This is called Hebe Sunset Boulevard. Hebes are from a large family of plants. They all only get about this height, so maximum kind of 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters. Flower with these beautiful spikes of tiny little flowers coming in mauves. And then, of course, there's this little guy here called Marilyn Monroe. What a cool name, with these little flecks of purple, variegated foliage, nice and compact plant, and also gets a little pink flower. Another option would be, especially for nice sunny areas, is Octotus. Octotus, part of the daisy family, tough as nails, lovely grey foliage, and each plant spreads to about 40 centimeters in width. It doesn't get much taller than this, but as a sunny plant, especially in the Highveld, in cold areas where you get lots of frost and snow, well, this is a cool option. And then one of my favorites is Euphorbia. This is part of the poinsettia family. This is called Breathless. Beautiful little plant. You can see all its tiny little white flowers. And as a combination, I mean, take a look at that. Hebe, this is Hebe Sunset Boulevard with the Euphorbia Breathless. Absolutely magnificent combination. So think of these options if you don't like the daisies, but you know, either way, play around with the colors and you are sure to have a great garden.